I got two strong arms I can help. It would sure do me good to do you good. Let me help.
Let's turn the music off. Here we go. Let's get started. Howdy. It's Friday. It's Friday. Time for lunch with Dad. Hi. My name is Carl Trent. But as you might know me as Dad from Dad's Guide to WDW, it's time to start the perfect vacation. Oh, my vacation is starting here in a few weeks, and I'm so excited. Hi, Paul. Hi, everybody. Hi, everybody's just checking in. All right, let's get to talking about the simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World vacation. What are we going to do today? Let's just look at the list. First, got to say thank you to our partners from Celebration Shirts. I don't know, the little logo, this side. There it is, right there. Celebration Shirts, our great partners. They were at Walt Disney World last week. They did shirts for like 60 people from Destinations to Travel, one of our other partners. They had a big party down there, Destinations to Travel, celebrate. All of my buddies were down there, and I didn't get to go. I was invited. Yes, it wasn't because I wasn't invited. I was invited, but it just was, it's just, I just couldn't go. I'm going. Well, let's see. How many days? 28 days. The countdown says 28 days. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a little bit. But I'm so excited. All right. So what are we going to do today? By the way, if you like Lunch with Dad, be sure to hit the like button right down there. The like button, the comments, make comments. If you have any questions, I'll be answering questions here in just a little bit. Probably about 30, 40 minutes, we'll answer your questions. I've got a bunch of questions that came in from our Ask Dad page this week. We'll run right through those, and then we'll get right into your questions. So if you got any questions, throw them down in the comments, and we'll answer them right here today, live with Dad, Lunch with Dad. This is going to be so fun. But put your comments down in the questions. You know, people, I've already seen, I love the calendar. Yeah, the calendar's pretty cool. You know, anything you want to comment about, anything you want to say, I read all the comments. I go through 3 or 4 times today, 3 or 4 times tomorrow. I'll keep going through until there are no more comments. I'll read your comments. I'll know what you say. So put your comments down there. Anything you want to say about Dad, about Dad's Guide. Just happy to have your comments. Questions are great. Anyway, so here. What are we going to do today? I always like to have a plan. The plan is pretty much the same as every week, but let's see what the plan is. It's going to start out with a rant. I got some words for Disney today. Then we're going to do the news. Then I'm going to get to the questions, the Ask Dad questions. I think I got 9 of them. And then I'll get to your questions. So put your questions down in the comments, and then I'll end up with some final thoughts. All right, here we go. The rant. Here we go. The rant. So why am I playing Christmas music in October? Well, it's not even October yet. It's still September. By the way, I went, yes, I know it's really early for Christmas. I went to, where did I go yesterday? I was in the mall, went to the Pennies, and the door I walked in, they have the Christmas trees and the Christmas decorations. No, it's September. It's too early for that. But I do want to talk about Christmas, and that music was right out of the Candlelight Processional. And that's not exactly what I want to talk about. But Disney, I saw a rumor today. Rumor, you know, I hate rumors, but a rumor came out today that Disney is going to do away, not with the Candlelight Processional, but with the Jingle Cruise, that they're not going to change to the Jingle Cruise this year, either at the Magic Kingdom in Florida or at Disneyland. They're not going to redo the Jungle Cruise to the Jingle Cruise. And that kind of makes me mad. I'm not happy. Dad is not happy. Hey, Disney. Hey, Bob. Hey, you dummies down in Florida. Stop it. Stop de-Christmasifying Walt Disney World. Walt loved Christmas. I love Christmas. I love Disney World at Christmas. Talk about it all the time. I talk about it year round. It's my favorite thing that Disney does. Christmas at Disney World is fantastic. But lately, things have kind of slid backwards when it comes to Christmas at Walt Disney World. Last year I was there and I noticed going through the Magic Kingdom, yes, Main Street was decorated, not as decorated as it has been in some previous years, but Main Street was still decorated. But once you got off of Main Street, once you got past the castle, once you went into Tomorrowland, Fantasyland, Liberty Square, Frontierland, Adventureland, there weren't really any decorations out on the buildings. There weren't any decorations on the light poles. It was just on Main Street. And I thought that's the first time I've ever noticed that Disney has taken down some of the decorations that have been there for years. This kind of started several years ago, probably 10 years ago now, when they did away with Mickey's Jingle Jungle Parade over at Animal Kingdom. The last year the Mickey's Parade at Animal Kingdom happened, they didn't do the Christmas show in it. And it just kind of flabbergasted me at that time. Why aren't they doing the Christmas parade? Disney has been stepping back on Christmas at Walt Disney World. They're cutting all kinds of things down there. I know that. And that's really, really sad. Crowds are up. Money is up. Revenues are up. Profits are up. But yet we're doing all these cuts. Stop it, Disney. What? You gonna cut out the candlelight procession? I can listen to that all day. It's just silly. It's just silly, this nickel and diming cuts that you're making. Stop it. Walt was huge about Christmas. The first year that Disneyland opened, he couldn't afford to do the Christmas parade at Walt Disney World. He just didn't have the money for it. But you know what? They did the parade and people came out of the woodwork. Disney, this is why we come to Disney World at Christmas. This is why on Christmas Day, Disney World the Magic Kingdom has to close to new guests. You go over to Universal and it's a ghost town because you have done Christmas right. Keep doing Christmas right, or we're going to go over to Universal. It's that simple. All right, that's the rant of the week. All right, here we go. Oh, sorry. I just had to get off my chest. I love Disney. I love Christmas at Disney World. Quit messing with it. All right, let's go on to the news. A lot of news this week. It wasn't a whole lot until the last couple of days, but there's a lot of news this week. The Disney Store online, the name is actually changing this week. It's now called shopdisney.com. No big deal. It's just a new name. Okay. I always say Dad knows Walt Disney World. Last week, I predicted that minivans would come to the Polynesian. Guess what happened this week? Minivans came to the Polynesian. Dad knows Disney World. Of course, it's really, really hard to figure that one out. So next week, I'm going to predict, not a tough prediction, but the Contemporary is going to be next. Since they did the Grand Floridian last week, the Polynesian this week, next week it'll be the Contemporary. Dad knows Walt Disney World. Okay, so brand new at Epcot. This was pretty cool. Brand new at Epcot. So why am I playing Grease? Well, Disney started something new this week, or is starting something new. I don't know if it's actually going yet, but they're actually taking and making a place next to Test Track, where you can go, and if you built the car in the beginning of Test Track, you can go into what's called the Simporium, and you can put your Magic Band up, and just for a mere, who knows, they haven't announced the price yet, but just for a mere $59.95, you can build your own car right out of Test Track. That's super duper hopped up grease lightning machine that you set up in Test Track. Anyway, so that's something new coming to Epcot pretty quickly. I didn't notice just this morning that Echo Lake, the lake in Hollywood Studios in front of Big Boat, the Bill and Min's Dockside Diner, and right over there, that Echo Lake, that lake has been drained, and they're doing some construction. We're going to talk about Hollywood Studios and the construction there in a little bit later. Also at Hollywood Studios, on the other end of the spectrum, the new Grand Avenue area is open. It opened today. It opened this morning. Grand Avenue is now open. We've got a reporter on the scene that's going to take pictures and have information. He's going to the big media event tonight, so we'll have some information on that pretty quickly. Disney also announced this week that a family meal kit is now going to be available at Saratoga Springs for people staying in the villas. If a villa has a kitchen, not the studios, but all of them that have kitchens, you'll be able to buy this new meal kit. The first kit is for something called rigatoni, and I'm just going to make this up because I have no idea what this word is, and we couldn't find it anywhere. Fisalona or something like that. To tell you how obscure this dish is, it was popular back in the 1900s, and nobody's heard of it since. But I don't know that that's true. But you just can't find much information on it. Anyway, Disney's put together this kit where it serves it includes rigatoni with pasta, cream sauce, portobello mushrooms, parmesan sausage, and basil. That's what the entree is. It comes with a salad, breadsticks, and instructions on how to cook. Disney is trying to compete with the garden grocers, the grocery stores. I assume that one of these days, Amazon's Whole Foods will start a deal into Disney. I don't know that for sure, but that makes sense since Amazon's trying to take over the world, even more than Disney is. But anyway, so Disney's trying to compete with those. This is a test. It's only being done at Saratoga Springs. So we'll have to see how it goes. My guess is they'll test a couple other recipes, and if it works, they'll roll it out to all the villa resorts. All right, one last news item. Disney's Military Salute, the discounts for military families is been renewed for 2018. A little later than usual, but it has been renewed. So if you're a military family, congratulations. It's a great program, and Disney honors veterans and active service members every day, and that's a really good thing. Really good thing. Okay, let's take a break for just a minute and talk about WDW Magazine. If you don't know, I am the publisher, the owner of WDW Magazine. I started it back in 2013. It's a really, really cool online magazine, which celebrates Walt Disney World all the time. We have just incredible pictures, articles, videos. It's just really, really good. So this month in WDW Magazine, you probably can't see it very good. It's a beautiful picture. It doesn't show up too well here, but we're doing an issue about last-minute trips to Walt Disney World. This is our 50th, I believe. This is either our 49th or 50th. This is 49. I think this is our 49th issue. We've been at it for almost 4 years now. 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17, 4 years. So this is our 49th issue, and it's really good. When we talk about last minute trips, we talk about getting reservations, hotel reservations, getting ADRs, advanced dining reservations, getting FastPass, booking FastPass Plus. We got even the new section this month. We're starting a new section. It's called Countdown to 2021, where we're going to keep track of all of the new stuff that is coming for the 50th anniversary. Started with Pandora, and you've got all the construction going on in Hollywood Studios. You've got the new construction starting in Epcot. You've got some stuff coming to the Magic Kingdom. You've got the new hotels. We're going to talk about what's happening in 2021. That's one of the new sections in WDW Magazine this month. It's a great magazine. You can go over and check it out at wdw-magazine.com. We put up a brand new look on our website this week. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. That's one of the things we try to do in the magazine. We try to make everything beautiful. We put Walt Disney World in your hands. We bring you the magic of Walt Disney World. We love Walt Disney World. We love sharing Walt Disney World. As you can tell, I like Walt Disney World. And I love sharing it. And I try to find people that have that same passion. So go over and take a look at WDW Magazine. You can find it in the iTunes Store, the Apple App Store, I guess I call it now, the Apple App Store, and the Google Play Store. You can find it there too. But we've got it online in the app stores. Give it a shot. It's $5 a month if you subscribe monthly. Pretty cheap. You get access to all the issues, all 49 of them. New issues come out the end of every month. We've got new issue coming out tomorrow, maybe today, probably tomorrow. Anyway, so that's what WDW Magazine. You'll love it. Give it a look. It's incredible. All right, let's talk about Dad's tip of the week. I've been struggling with the tip of the week this week. I really didn't have anything, and then Stephanie, my assistant, that's doing the comments below. And by the way, I got two assistants helping me now. Stephanie's here. Tatiana's here. Say hi, Tatiana. Hi, Tatiana. Hi, Stephanie. You can say hi to them. They're really great help. We have great people working with us. Anyway, Stephanie said, "Why don't you talk about sharing food?" Okay. Didn't quite hit me at first, but the more I thought about it, the more I liked it. So the tip of the week this week is sharing meals at Walt Disney World. Sharing meals at Walt Disney World. It's a great way to save money. Walt Disney World, the typical meal at Walt Disney World is pretty big. It's pretty easy to share. It's fun to share. It's really fun to share. Mrs. Mom and I used to do this all the time. We used to go into Casey's. Now, I don't think you can do this anymore, but we used to go to Casey's, and we'd both get our hot dogs. I'd order French fries. She'd order the apple chips. We'd share the French fries. We'd share the apple chips. And it was just a great way to save a little money instead of buying 2 French fries and 2 apple chips, which I think you have to do now with the meals. But we would share those. Now, I know Casey's has got some bigger hot dogs now. You might split the hot dog in half and share the whole meal. But there's a lot of places where you can share a meal or a snack at Walt Disney World. Now, don't ask me to share my Dole Whip. I don't do that, but all the time, Mrs. Mom and I are sharing food and snacks at Walt Disney World. It's just a great way to save money. One year we came to the Pop Century. We got into the Pop Century late in the evening. We were hungry, and this was all 4 of us before the kids got married. It was me, Mrs. Mom, the man-child, and the princess. And we got there. It was we flew in and we drove in, and we hadn't had dinner. We're all hungry, but it was we didn't really want to go over to don't really care for the Pop food court at night. We love it at breakfast, but not so much at night. Didn't really have time or want to go over to Disney Springs or somewhere else and grab some food. So we ordered a pizza and some drink, and we went over and filled up our refillable mugs, and we had pizza together that night. It's a great way to start a trip. So sharing food, it's not only simple, it's not only fun, but it's also a little bit magic. It just creates that atmosphere of sharing and caring. Sharing is caring. So think about sharing meals at Walt Disney World. Saves money, creates magic, and that's Dad's tip of the week. All right. Questions. All right, 20 minutes and we're down to questions. Now, I do have a bunch of questions today. We'll go through these and then we'll get to your questions. If you have any questions, put them down in the comments. And I'll get to them here in just a minute. Tatiana says her boyfriend doesn't like to share his food. I understand that, Tatiana. I'm not a big sharer, but you get a pizza, you go to a pizza place, you share a pizza, right? He doesn't eat the whole pizza by himself. So there are ways to share food. It doesn't always have to be, anyway. It's about having fun together. All right, and sometimes not sharing is fun too. And of course, you can't share at buffets, but that's another story. Okay, here we go. Questions. This one comes from Julianne from North Carolina. Hey, Dad. Hey, Julianne. How are you today? We have an upcoming trip planned for the week after Thanksgiving this year, November 26th through December 1st. We're thinking of going down to Florida on Saturday the 25th and getting an off-site hotel and getting up early Sunday morning and hitting a park. My question is, can we go to the park and have our dining plan work before checking in at our Disney resort that evening? Or is it a must that we go to the resort first, check in, and then go to the park? Also, I would like to do, would online check-in allow us to avoid going to the resort first before going to the park? Julianne, that's a really good question. I'm sure this has come up with a lot of people because when you're there early in the morning, I love the idea of staying in a hotel. When you get in the evenings, don't pay these the exorbitant prices that Disney charges for their hotels. Stay off-site, stay cheap. We've actually stayed in a Motel 6 off-site and then come in the next morning. As for the Disney dining plan and tickets, well, here's how it works. You cannot use your Disney dining plan until you have checked into your hotel room. The same is kind of true for tickets. There is a way that you can go to guest services at the parks and get them to activate your tickets before you check in, and even 2 or 3 days before you check in if you want to. But as for the dining plan, no, you can't do it until you check into the hotel. Yes, online check-in counts. So go ahead and do the online check-in. Everybody ought to do the online check-in. There's even if you want to go to the front desk and check in, you should do the online check-in. This is one of the reasons why. It activates that morning, like 4 o'clock in the morning, it activates your Disney dining plan and your tickets. So do the online check-in if you want to go to the parks before you go to the hotel. That works. If you don't do the online check-in, you can actually pay for a meal, take the receipt, and go to the front desk at your hotel. Now, you can't do this at the restaurant. You have to go to the concierge service at the hotel, and they can refund you the money and apply your dining plan credits. But just do the online check-in. That way, boop, box is checked, and you can do it. All good. The bottom line is, do online check-in, you'll be fine. Tickets and dining plan. All right. Next question comes from Joanna. Hi, Dad. We are going to Walt Disney World in February over President's Day for my daughter's gymnastics competition. Fortunately, the schedule for when she'll be competing, unfortunately, The schedule for when she'll be competing isn't released until a month before, so we cannot book our fast passes until we know what day she's actually going to be in the competition. Any advice in this situation? We had our first trip in December, and I was Johnny on the spot with reservations. So I'm feeling like we'll be a little disadvantaged at this time. A friend suggests go ahead and making the reservations. We have 2-day tickets, and maybe we'll get lucky, and the 2 days I made the reservations for will actually turn out to be the 2 days we're going to the parks. Thoughts on that? Thanks. Joanna, yeah, you are at a disadvantage by not knowing exactly when you're going to be at Walt Disney World. That 60-day making park fast pass reservations is a great perk for Disney hotel guests. It is just a big deal to be able to get that extra 30 days, because at 30 days or at whenever you find out about it, it's less than 60 days, you're not going to be able to get Soarin', Flight of Passage. You're probably not going to be able to get Flight of Passage in 60 days, or any other of those kind of reservations. They're going to all be booked up because the big ones go quickly, even the first day, that quickly. So you really won't be able to get them. So what should you do? I would suggest that at the 60-day mark, you pick 2 days and you go ahead and make your reservations. The 2 days you think are most likely for your daughter to be available. And you make reservations for those days. One thing I would probably suggest, if there is one attraction you have to see, like Flight of Passage, or say Frozen Ever After. If with a daughter, that might be the one you pick. If you have to go see Frozen Ever After, I would go ahead and make my both days worth of fast passes at that 60-day mark. Make both days and make Frozen Ever After reservations in Epcot for both days, and do your reservations for Epcot both days. You're not going to necessarily go to Epcot both days, but that way you are guaranteed to have a reservation for Frozen Ever After if you end up there one of those 2 days. And probably the chances of you being there one of those 2 days is pretty good. Now, if you end up being there both those days, then you cancel one of them and you find something else. And maybe you cancel all of them since they'll all be Epcot and do some other park. But the bottom line is that, yes, you are at a disadvantage. Be very careful. Pick days that you think you might be there. And if there is a ride that you must ride, make reservations, make fast pass reservations both days for that ride. All right, so there we go. That's what I suggest, Joanna. Whew, I'm gonna take just a break. Hang on just a second. Water. That's all it is water. All right, here we go. Next question. This one comes from Kerr in Windham, North Carolina. Hi, Dad. We are headed to Disney November 26th through December 2nd. We are staying at the Wilderness Lodge. There are a few mornings that offer extra magic hours, and I see conflicting information. Some say avoid extra magic hours, some say go. I don't know that even with park hoppers, I want to jump around at midday. Thanks so much. Well, Kurt, I agree that there is conflicting information about whether or not to use extra magic hours. Part of that is because it depends a little bit on when you are going. If you're going during busy times, then extra magic hours is almost essential that you go during the busy times, because you get that hour when there's nobody in the park. Just to give you an idea, I went last December. I was there last December by myself, and I went to Epcot on an extra magic hour day. I got there a little late, so I got there at 8:20. Extra magic hour started at 8. In the first hour I was in the park, I did Test Track, Mission Space, and Soarin', all three in 1 hour, exactly, almost to the minute, 1 hour. Then I took a little break. That was 9:20. So about 10 o'clock, I decided I'd go try it again. At 10 o'clock, it took me an hour to do Test Track and Mission Space. And now this is going through the green line, not the long line, the short line at Mission Space, and using, this time I had a FastPass. I had a FastPass for Test Track. I had a FastPass for Test Track, a short line for Mission Space, and that took an hour. And then I go over to Soarin', and the line for Soarin' at the time was an hour and a half. So that just gives you an idea. And this was not during a busy time of year. This was a kind of a slow day at Epcot. So that kind of gives you an idea of how important that extra magic hour can be. It's just essential that you use extra magic hours when it's busy. During the busy times of year, the really busy, the heavy to extreme crowds. During the light crowds, it doesn't matter. You're not going to run in September this month. You can walk. I saw pictures in middle of the day of parks where there's nobody around. So September, it doesn't matter if you use extra magic hours or not. Now, the big question is, and this is when you're going, do you use them when you have moderate crowds? I like extra magic hours. We're going at the end of October, 1st of November. Talk about that in just a minute. We're going to go in the end of October, or 1st of November, and we plan our trip, which day we're going to be in the parks, around early morning extra magic hours. I only talk about early morning extra magic hours because the evening magic hours are good, but they're not. It's the morning magic hours that you get the most bang for the buck out of. So we plan our trips to use those early morning extra magic hours. That's what we plan our trip around that, even though we're going at a moderate time. We typically don't have park hoppers. I don't like park hopping. It's not my favorite thing. I like to plan my day to be in the same park all day. Part of that is because of the transportation. It can take an hour to get from one park to another. Even from Magic Kingdom to Epcot, we had this happen before. We're in the Magic Kingdom. We've got a dinner reservation at Via Napoli. How long does it take to get from Fantasyland to Via Napoli? It took 45 minutes. So you've got that transportation time. And sometimes that's a good thing to get away and to get out of the parks and get transportation. But I'm not a fan of park hopping for park hopping's sake. Now, we've had park hoppers lots of times where we've done multiple parks in a day. That's fine. But my planning strategy is to plan everything to be in the same park for a day. Now, you talk about not park hopping in the middle of the day. This kind of makes me wonder why using the extra magic hour. You go in the morning, by mid-afternoon, you've got most of the rides done. You're just there for the shows. Watch a couple of shows. When you're ready to leave the park and go to a different park. I do suggest that you use extra magic hours when it's moderately busy too. There's just so much you can do in that first hour. That morning extra magic hour is just gold. It really is gold, plain gold. Yeah, you can skip it. Yeah, you can go to another park, but that hour is just, I can't tell you how important that is. The bottom line is you don't have to, but I suggest that you do use extra magic hours. Anyway, there you go, Kerr. Hope that helps. All right, that's the same question. Here we go. Next question. And by the way, if you have any questions, please put them down in the comments. I'm going to answer them here. Let's see, I got about 5 more questions, so it'll be about 15 more minutes. I'll try to keep my answers short, but I want to answer your questions. If you have any questions about Walt Disney World, just stick them down in the comments and we'll get you an answer. All right, this next one comes from James in Chicago. After going to Walt Disney World, I saw a lot of t-shirts that said it all started with the mouse. And it got me thinking, didn't it all start with a rabbit? If Oswald the Lucky Rabbit came first, then why don't the t-shirts say it all started with him? Also, if I'm right, would it be worth getting a custom t-shirt that actually says it all started with a rabbit to wear next time I go to Disney? James, you might get lynched if you wear that t-shirt. Just kidding. It did. This is a famous quote from Walt himself. Walt said, I hope we don't, I've got it written right here. I hope we don't lose sight of one thing. It all started with a mouse. And that's where that quote comes from. That was Walt's quote. Now, yes, Walt did create Oswald the Lucky Rabbit for Universal. And Universal Studios owned the rights to Oswald the Lucky Rabbit until about 2 years ago, maybe even last year, when they sold it back to Disney. So while one of Walt's first famous characters, and I'm sure he drew a lot of characters even before he started the Disney company, one of Walt's first famous character was Oswald, the first cartoon made into a cartoon character was Oswald. They did it for Universal. Universal had the rights to that, and Walt didn't. And that's when Walt left Universal, ran away, went back home and during his train ride, he figured out Mickey. And Mickey is really what started the Disney empire. So it really did start with a mouse. Even though Oswald came first, Mickey Mouse is what started the Disney company and started Walt Disney on the path toward where Disney is today. So it really did start with a mouse. Okay, so hope that gets your question there, James. Yeah, nobody will say anything about the rabbit shirt, but it really is true that it started with a mouse. All right. Oh, quick. I've said this a few times, it's only what did we say, 28 days until Dad heads to Disney World. If you're going to be at Disney World between October 30th and November 5th, Dad'll be at Disney World. October 29th to November 5th, I'm going to be down there. I'd love to meet you. I got one thing Mrs. Mom and I have done for years. When we go to Disney World, we like to take gift cards. And if somebody, the first one that comes up during the day and says, "Hi, Dad," or "Hey, Dad," or just comes up to meet me during the day, I know you're that Dad guy. Come say hello to me. First person that comes up to me during the day, I've got a $25 gift card for you. And I've got, where did I put them? Pens, and pins. That's a WDW magazine pin. They're going to be WDW magazine pin. I'm out of Dad's pins. I might have a book or two. I might have a calendar. Who knows what all I'll have. But I got to have stuff to give away. Just say hello to me. I'll be happy to take a picture with you, even though I'm pretty camera shy. But I just love to meet you. Say hello, and give you something. I just come say hello to me. Look for me. I'll be in Epcot on October 30th, Animal Kingdom on the 31st, the Magic Kingdom November 1st, Epcot the 2nd, Hollywood Studios the 3rd, and the Magic Kingdom on the 4th. I think that's the way it works out. The 5th, I go back home. I don't know exactly. We may be driving, so we may be around a little bit on the 5th, but I'll be staying at the Port Orleans French Quarter. So you might see me around there. We like to go to breakfast in the hotel there a lot. So look for me. Say, "Hi, Dad." and I'll be glad to say hello. All right, back to the question so we can get done with this. Here we go. This next one, don't have a name for this one. Hi, Dad. I'm a local, kinda. I live in Disney. I live 2 hours away, and my husband and I are planning to go to Disney for his birthday. I wanted something different and rent a bike. I wanted to do something different and rent a bike and go to one of the trails at one of the resorts. We're not planning on spending the night because we both work the day after his birthday. Would it be a problem because we are not hotel guests? That sounds so cool. There's sometimes I just wish I lived in Florida so I could just hop over, go watch the fireworks on the beach, go sit on the boardwalk, whatever. But I live in Oklahoma and I'm going to stay in Oklahoma. So probably not going to happen. But anyway, as to going to the hotels, going to the resorts and renting bikes and riding the trails, absolutely. Disney loves people to come and spend money at Walt Disney World. So if you want to rent a bike, you want to rent a sea racer, you want to have a nice meal, the hotels are just glad to have you there. They absolutely go to the hotels. My suggestion would be you go to the Boardwalk Inn. You go to the Boardwalk. Evenings at the Boardwalk are great. They do have bicycles that you can rent and ride around the boardwalk. They have entertainment that goes on in the evenings around the boardwalk. They've got restaurants, they've got shops. I mean, it's just a really nice place to be in the evenings. You can go walk around the beach club, the yacht club, the Swan, the Dolphin, the boardwalk. There's just a lot to do around the boardwalk. So that's where I would suggest. Now there's a lot of other places you could go, but head over to Fort Wilderness and maybe go to the Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. That'd be a great way to have an evening. Go to the early show. You'd be through by 8-ish or 7:30-ish. And you get home by 10 o'clock. But anyway, those are just a couple ideas. The bottom line is absolutely you can do it. You can't swim. Swimming is for resort guests only, but you can do pretty much anything else at the resorts. Okay. Next question, and I'm down to like 3 more, so here we go. Next question. Me and my girlfriend are staying at a value resort, All Star Music. We have a friend and his fiance that have 2-day tickets to the parks, but we're unable to get a good room at a good price. Since our room comes with 2 beds and we aren't going to be using it, will Disney have a problem if we ask them if it's okay if they stay in our room for 2 nights? Brian, I know the answer to this, but I ask our partners at Destinations to Travel, because this is what they deal with every day. They deal with Disney. They deal with the hotels. I asked them to get the official answer for this question. And I got an answer back from Nancy Castile. She's one of their agents, one of their best agents. Anyway, Nancy says, if you have a room-only reservation, Disney will require an additional $15 per person plus tax for the 2 adults, for the 2 adults, because you can only have 4, for the 2 adults for the room. The extra cost would be for your entire stay, not just the nights that they are staying. If you've added tickets or dining to your reservation, they would be required to have the same amount of tickets and dining as you do. Disney does not allow guests to stay for free. To that, I would add that a value resort room does have 2 beds, but they are not queen size beds. They are full size beds. And I can tell you from experience, many trips, that I wouldn't want to share that bed with Mrs. Mom. We're kind of big people, but I even talked to all of our Tatiana and Stephanie about this, and they wouldn't want to do it either with their husbands. So those beds aren't really big enough for 2 people. It might be for a couple of days, okay, but you won't find it very comfortable to be sharing those beds. It's really not something I would suggest. You're in one little room with 4 people, 1 bathroom, lot of togetherness. I'm not sure that that's the best idea. It's Disney, you will have to pay. And could you possibly sneak them in? Yeah, possibly. But I wouldn't suggest that. Because if you get caught, then you're going to have to pay all of those extra costs. So it's just not a good idea. They have them stay in an offsite hotel. I don't know. I don't know what the answer is, but being in the same room is just probably not the best idea. Bottom line is, yes, you can do it. It will cost some money. It's not going to cost near as much as staying for, as a full resort room would cost. It's going to be a lot of togetherness. It can be done, but I think it's going to be really uncomfortable. All right, there we go. All right, next question. Let's see. Is there 1 or 2? There are 2 more here. All right, 2 more questions, then we'll get to your questions. So if you have a question, now's the time to put it down in the questions, and we'll power through them. Looks like I only got a couple of them. So good time to put down your questions if you got any. All right, this one comes from Andy in St. Louis. Dad, my family and I are planning on taking our new son to Disney World for his first trip in June 2019. That's so cool. With Disney's efforts seemingly ramping up in preparations for Walt Disney World's anniversary, is guest satisfaction destined to be overlooked until the anniversary arrives? What do you anticipate the impact on crowds to be between now and the anniversary? Andy, you're correct. Disney is ramping things up. They even said this at the D23 Expo when they made all of the announcements about what's coming. They said they are doing a big push for the 50th birthday of Walt Disney World in 2021. October 2021, Walt Disney World turns 50. So they are doing a big push. It's something that has needed to be done for years. Epcot, poor Epcot, has needed a revamp for probably 15 years. Disney Hollywood Studios, they're just totally redoing Disney Hollywood Studios for the most part. I think there aren't now any attractions left that were there on opening day at Disney Hollywood Studios. I think I remember that. So yes, everything is getting revamped. Guest satisfaction, yeah, there's a little of that, especially at Hollywood Studios. Guest satisfaction is probably down a little bit. It's obvious there's major construction going on. They closed the back lot. They closed all of that back in the back for good reason. Yes, for temporarily, it can be a little tough. I know Caribbean Beach Resort, I saw pictures, kind of got a video tour of it this week, and it's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. I don't think I would suggest staying at the Caribbean Beach Resort right now. The main building has been leveled. I mean, you're eating meals in a temporary house, and the gift shop is now a food truck. It's just, I think I would avoid Caribbean Beach Resort until the main building gets redone. And there's a reason why Caribbean Beach Resort's prices are way down. But it's kind of a tough deal. Customer satisfaction at Caribbean Beach Resort, way down, absolutely. Hollywood Studios, down. Now, on the other side of that, what's coming is super exciting, super exciting. You've got the gondolas, you've got all the new stuff, Star Wars Land, Toy Story, Star Wars Galactic, I'm sorry, I say that wrong. Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, Toy Story Land, you've got the Ratatouille rides, you've got the Guardians of the Galaxy in Epcot, you've got the new Mission Space restaurant in Epcot, you've got Pandora already open in Animal Kingdom, you've got Tron coming to the Magic Kingdom, you've got all this stuff that's been announced that's coming, and there's more announcements to come. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of construction going on at Walt Disney World. But most of it, Disney's real good about hiding construction. It's going to be tough in some places. Hollywood Studios is about to get a lot better. By the time you go in June of 2019, Hollywood Studios will be pretty much transformed. Sometime around that, sometime in 2019, Star Wars Land is going to open. In 2018, Toy Story Land is going to next summer, Toy Story Land is going to be open. So even though Hollywood Studios is down, by the time you get there, it's going to be up. My guess is by the time you get there, it's possible that the Guardians of the Galaxy ride will be open in Epcot. Maybe not, because they've got some construction to do, building construction to do, so maybe not. But there will be significant progress made by the time you get there in 2019 on the parks. Now, I will say crowd-wise, like when Pandora opened, Animal Kingdom this year has been slammed. The crowds are way up in Animal Kingdom. Overall crowds, not so much, but the crowds in Animal Kingdom are up. That will happen next summer when Toy Story Land opens. Crowds will be up in Hollywood Studios. My guess is crowds overall next summer will be up. And that's going to start a trend. The year after that, Star Wars Land opens. Sometime in there, Ratatouille will open. Guardians of the Galaxy will open. So you'll see bigger crowds in Epcot. Then you've got the Tron roller coaster. You've got all of these things opening over the next few years in Walt Disney World. It's just going to ratchet up the crowds. 2021, going to be huge. It's going to be huge. I'm going to be there in October 2021. I know a lot of people. I will be making my hotel reservations the first day I can for October 2021 because they're going to sell out. There are going to be people staying in Tampa and driving over just because there's no hotels left in Orlando. It's going to be huge. But 2019, the crowds won't be much bigger than they are now. Maybe a little bit, but I don't see it being a big problem. The bottom line is, yes, there is construction going on. Disney is very good about separating construction from people. So customer satisfaction, I don't see it going down a lot except for in a couple of places. But what's coming is big, huge. It's going to be great. Crowds are going to bump up just because there are big things happening. That's just the way it's going to be. All right. Last question, and then I'll get to your questions. So if you got a question, throw them down in the comments. All right, this is a fun one. Hi, we are going to Walt Disney World with 2 teens and 2 adults. The teens love to swim. We aren't sure where to stay. We want at least the moderate help. That's what Dad does. Dad is here to help. Okay, so another great question for our partners at Destinations to Travel. If you have these kind of questions, if you're struggling with this, Destinations to Travel is where you need to go to get these kind of answers. They deal with this every day. They know Walt Disney World almost as well as Dad does. I work with them all the time. I help them. So we talk all the time. So let's just answer this question. I asked one of their agents, and I got this answer from Chris Boyer. Chris is a good guy. He has a great answer. In fact, he has the exact same answer I came up with. So I have a bit of a confession to make to you, Dad, and everyone tuning in today. I am a bit of a pool snob. I judge a resort not only by its rooms, beds, food, but largely on the pool, or in some cases, pools, that the resort offers. There is just simply nothing like heading back to your resort in the middle of a hot day at Walt Disney World and cooling off in the pool. When staying at moderate resorts, I like to head to the Coronado Springs. The main pool at the resort, called the Lost City of Cibola pool, is very large, themed after the Mayan ruins. It's a cool looking pool. This pool has a 50-foot pyramid with steps that double as a waterfall, and a 123-foot long, got to get those 3, 123-foot long water slide. If you're looking for a quieter experience, Coronado also has 3 leisure pools, each one for the settlement area. When staying in a deluxe, I head back to my Disney home away from home, the Yacht Club. The Yacht Club and its sister resort, the Beach Club, is home to Stormalong Bay. This 3-acre water funland features an expansive sand-bottom pool, a lazy river, and a life-size replica of the shipwreck. The zero-entry main pool makes it easy for little ones to join in on the fun, and the tanning deck and the 3 whirlpool spas provide plenty of leisure time for those looking for a slower pace. If you're looking for a fantastic pool on Walt Disney World property, you cannot go wrong with Stormalong Bay. Like I said, I came up with exactly the same 2 pools as Chris did. I think those are the perfect places, moderate and deluxe, for you to stay and when you're looking for a place with the pool, when the pool is the main thing. I've stayed in both of those resorts. Both of them are fine. There are things I like about both of them, and things I don't like about both of them, but that's true of every resort at Walt Disney World. So Coronado Springs Resort, and don't worry about the construction at Coronado Springs. It's not at all like the construction at the Caribbean Beach Resort. The Coronado Springs Resort, the construction is limited to one small area. It doesn't impact El Centro, the main building. So don't worry about the construction at Coronado Springs. It's a good option. Yacht Club, nice hotel. Really, really nice hotel. Very easy access in Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Love the boardwalk area. So those would be my 2 suggestions too. So give Destinations to Travel a call and go down to our webpage. I'm sure Stephanie's put the link down in the comments to our Destinations to Travel page. There's a form at the bottom that you can fill out, and you just fill out that form. They'll get back to you really quick, and they'll take good care of you. That's what they do. They take great care of their guests. They'll help you make your dining reservations. They'll help you make your hotel reservations. They'll help you make your FastPass reservations. It's all part of the service they offer. Part of the service. You don't pay any extra for it. And they'll be your best friend, your BFF, your best BD, whatever, BDF, your best Disney friend. Can't have a better partner than Destinations to Travel. I don't use them. I do use them. And it's not because they pay me. They do. But it's because they give you the best service. I've dealt with other travel agencies. I've been a travel agent. I just love the service that Destinations to Travel provides. I get notes all the time from people about their service. So give them a shout. Go to my webpage, fill out the form, and they'll take great care of you. All right, so now we're ready for your questions. If you have a question, this is going to be last call for questions, so get it down in the comments now. I'm going to answer the ones we've got and the ones that come in the next couple of minutes, and then we'll get started. All right. I just saw your question there, Betsy. What I don't like about the Yacht Club is the transportation. The bus service, because of where it's located, is not great because you've got to stop at the Swan and Dolphin, the Beach Club, the Yacht Club, and the board. Coming and going, you don't have easy bus service. That's what I don't particularly, and it doesn't have any kind of quick service breakfast. It just the quick service breakfast options on the boardwalk aren't very good. All right, so I answered that question. You don't have to pull that one out for me, Stephanie. All right, so here's the questions we got. Hey, Dad, not being able to do fast passes for Test Track Soarin' on the same day. Is there anything else that's more important to fast pass at Epcot November 8th and 9th? We've done Mission Space and Nemo, but I think the crowds won't be bad for other things at this time. Suggestions. Sandy, the one ride that you left out of there is Frozen Ever After. Definitely you want a fast pass if you want to ride Frozen Ever After. As to the rest of the rides, yeah, you don't really need fast passes for any of them. But Frozen Ever After is always That's the one I have a FastPass for when we're going in November or October, November. I don't guess, yeah, we'll be in October. I don't remember which day I have it for, but I definitely have a FastPass for Frozen Ever After. What I like to do is get that FastPass, and then for the afternoon, do Test Track Soarin' in the morning, first thing when you get there. I would do them in that order, probably. Maybe, yeah, that order now that they've got the newer, the third theater for Soarin'. So I would do Test Track and then Soarin' and then Mission Space. So that's kind of the way I'd handle that. All right. Betty asks, we are going to Disney the first week in January. I'm concerned about the marathon as far as crowds. Well, Betsy, let me put your mind at ease a little bit. I was there in 2016 on Marathon Day. That was the day we got. Actually, we got there the day before, so that was our first day in the parks. Was Marathon Day, big Marathon Day, Sunday, first day in the parks. We went to Epcot, first Marathon Day, the place where the marathon starts and ends. We were there in Epcot and literally walked onto every ride all day long. Never had a line for any ride, including Soarin'. Didn't have any lines at all on Marathon Day. Now, I will say Magic Kingdom the next day was busy, but Magic Kingdom is kind of always busy. You kind of always get busy days at the Magic Kingdom. Rarely do you see slow days at the Magic Kingdom. Overall, resort crowds were fairly moderate over that weekend. You'll find that Marathon Day will be a day you don't have to worry about. Everybody that's in the marathon and everybody that's supporting those people in the marathon are doing the marathon. So they're not in the, well, they might be in the parks, but they're in the parks to yell for the people in the marathon. After the marathon, the runners go and collapse. So they're not in the parks that night. So it's really a good time. And then, yeah, Sunday or Monday might be kind of busy, but usually after the marathon, people are starting to go home. So the day before, they got marathon events Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So those people are tied up those days during the marathon, so that you don't really have the crowd impact from marathon people. A little bit, but not much. Without the marathon, it would be September type of crowds where there's nobody there. So you're talking about moderate crowds during that time period, even with all the marathon people. So it's not something to worry a whole lot about. Now, if you want to be there with no crowds, you got to go in September. But with light to moderate crowds, marathon time is just fine. Okay, here we go. We've got 3 more questions, and then we're going to cut it off. All right. Wait a minute, 4 more questions. Hi, Dad. When do you think Disney will release discount offers for March? That's from Lindsay. Lindsay, Monday. Write it down. Mark it down. Monday. They're coming. I don't know that for sure, but that's what I hear. I hear they will come out on Monday. I hear there will be a Play, Stay, and Dine for January through March, like January 2nd through the middle of March, and then the room discount will come out for January 2nd through April. So this is a great reason to get in touch with Destinations to Travel today so they can get those reservations and those discounts for you. That's what they do. They get in there and they try to get those discounts for you. So get in touch with them today. Make your reservations now. Get your information to Destinations to Travel now. So if that happens on Monday, I've seen several sources saying it's going to. I don't know anything official, but if that happens on Monday, you'll be ready for it. So yeah, now is time to get ready for that. I think it will be Monday. So it might not. Don't get me wrong, it might not, but it's going to be shortly if it's not Monday. All right. Charlotte asks, do they have normal food such as pasta, sausage, and mash and such at the Disney hotels, or is it a buffet? We stopped in Rosen International in March, and my son had a lot of issues with food as he has bowel conditions and allergy attacks. Charlotte, it depends on the hotel. Not all hotels have buffets. In fact, there's only a couple of them that actually have buffets, and those are character meals. All the hotels have some kind of dining experience. What you need to do is you need to go and look on Disney.com, and up it says, I don't remember exactly where, I can't think of it right now, the wording, but things to do or something like that. You click on that and you look at the dining experiences. And there's a little place where you can filter by hotels or resorts, actually, I think they call them. You look at the restaurants in the resorts. The value resorts all have food courts where you go and you pick what you want. They have things that range from hamburgers to spaghetti to all kinds of meals at the resorts. Kind of different between the individual resorts. So the value resorts have food courts. The moderate resorts, they kind of have food courts, but they also have a sit-down restaurant. And then the deluxe resorts, mainly there is a quick service restaurant in there where you can get all kinds of stuff. And then there's usually one or two or more, like if you go over to the Grand Floridian, there's like 10 sit-down restaurants, which range all from Ohana, where you've got all the meat and stuff you can eat, to at the Grand Floridian Victoria and Albert's, which is the fanciest restaurant, maybe on the East Coast. It's one of the highest rated restaurants in the United States. So you've got all of that available. So it's not going to be like the buffets you get, at those free buffets you get at some of those hotels off-site. You're going to pay for your food at Walt Disney World. You don't get free food at Walt Disney World for staying in a hotel. So it's not going to be those cheap hotel buffets. You're gonna buy either individual items or meals, sit-down meals at the buffets or at the resorts. Okay. Here we go. Next question. Kelly asks, when do you think minivans will roll out at the moderate resorts? Let's see. We've got one more deluxe to go. Contemporary, I think we've done all the rest of the deluxes. It started Boardwalk. Yeah. So we've got one more deluxe. I think probably they will do the moderates before they do the this is going to be the tough one. My guess is they'll do the moderates next after Contemporary, so they'll start at, my guess would be Coronado Springs in 2 weeks, and then they'll roll out to Port Orleans, maybe backwards, maybe Port Orleans and Coronado Springs. Caribbean Beach will probably be the last of the moderates, and then they'll do the value resorts. That would be my guess. Somewhere in there, they're going to throw in Saratoga Springs and Old Key West. Just don't know exactly where those two are going to come in. It may be before the moderates. So sometime, my guess would be either 4 or 6 weeks from now for the moderates. Okay, last question. Here we go. What do you think of the new Soarin' compared to the old version? Kristen, I don't know. I'll tell you in about a month. I haven't been to Disney World since the new Soarin' came out, so I can't tell you what I think of it. I've heard lots of stuff, but personally, I can't tell you what I think of the new Soarin'. Ask me again. Well, if we have a quick lunch with Dad on November 5th, you can ask me again that day, but November 12th, I'll be able to tell you the answer to that, Kristen. So, Stephanie, write that down and write a reminder for me to tell Kristen what I think of the new Soarin' that day. Anyway, all right. So I think, wow, we got to wrap this up. Way late. Thanks for being here. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you had fun. I hope this is helpful. I'll be back next Friday, and it'll be just 3 weeks until I go to Disney World. I get so excited. Thanks to Celebration Shirts for sponsoring Lunch with Dad. If you need a shirt, they have cool. You go to their Facebook page, Celebration Shirts, facebook.com/Celebration Shirts. Go over to the Facebook page and look at all the people that they've got pictures from a lot of people wearing shirts. Now, if you want a discount, we've got a discount code. If you use the code SFM, like simple, like magic. If you use the code SFM, you can get a 10% discount at Celebration Shirts when you check out. Just go look at their shirts. Pretty cool designs. They can even design one for you. It doesn't have to be for Walt Disney World. If you've got a family outing and you want to get custom shirts, they can help you with that too. So give them a call over at celebrationshirts.com. They'll take great care of you. Don't forget, the new issue of WDW Magazine is coming out tomorrow, Last Minute Trips. Get your issue. You have access to all 49 issues when you subscribe, wdw-magazine.com. That's it. All right. I hope you have a great week, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for watching Dad's video. For more simple, fun, magic Walt Disney World information, go to Dad's Guide to WDW.com. You can do that by clicking the I button that's popping up on the screen right now. If you like this video, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and get more Dad's YouTube videos with Daditude.